I'm Derek Johnson, Chief Executive Officer at Aurora WDC, and I have some news to share related to the video you are about to watch. At the time we recorded this discussion, Michael Bernaiche was head of competitive intelligence at Dunkin Brands. His perspective in the video is that of an internal corporate intelligence officer. However, as of April 15th, all of us at Aurora are excited to welcome Michael in the new role of Director of Program Development. The timing of this announcement aligned well with the release of this video series on how to build a next-generation intelligence function. Michael and our other guest, Mr. Kerby, head of competitive intelligence at 3M, have proven that with the right ingredients, support, and attitude, any organization can achieve world-class intelligence capabilities. Michael brings to Aurora's team many years of experience and expertise building world-class intelligence functions at category-leading companies. You can meet Michael in person at the premier event in the CI field, the annual SCIP Conference and Exhibition in Philadelphia, where he also serves as chair of SCIP's Board of Directors. Let's listen now to Michael, Terry, Aurora's founder and chairman Arik Johnson, and me explore how to build a world-class intelligence function. Hello, I'm Derek Johnson, CEO at Aurora WDC. I'm joined today by Michael Bernaiche from Dunkin Brands, Terry Kerby from 3M, and Arik Johnson, Aurora's founder and chairman. Let's get started.
You both described the ways in which you've structured your intelligence team in very similar ways to the types of issues that I think external support agencies like Aurora often confront as well. You've essentially described how you want to internalize the value producing capacity of your most important customers internally to your organization, and yet you also have an open mind about either outsourcing certain functions that may be more routine and things that may not be as value producing essentially, or have as high an ROI to the internal customers that you serve, or to create a culture of intelligence and really make the teaching process and the learning process of the organization itself a critical aspect of that. And I think that both of those lessons are true. I would even suggest that they're true in almost every case where intelligence teams are deployed, is that you need to both teach and train the organization at the same time that you're willing to specialize internally in those things that produce the most value for your most important customers.
In the identify stage, we really ask the teams to do the work themselves. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, we think you'll get the quality there, but secondly, you bring everybody along together. So everybody in a given business unit or geography have a clear understanding of who they compete with and how they compete with them, and what are the key intelligence topics that they need to be aware of for that business market in that geography. Once we've done that, then you get into the understand phase, which is really a lot of the deep dive work, which and the monitoring of the marketplace for the key intelligence topics. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely work that can go to a third party and should go to a third party, because again, we're back to efficiently. Once we are well established there, then we'll move to what are the key questions that come out of understanding, which takes us into mitigate. And this is a balance. I mean, in mitigate for us, a lot of wargaming. And wargaming, we have some internal processes for it, but it also can be completed by third parties very well, mm-hmm. as well. Trade show CI. I don't know of a marketing organization that's good at trade show CI. I think external parties can help us with that. And then, of course, there are really deep dive work that we need to do as a company. If we rapidly want to understand what company X is doing in China, we will probably go to external resources to get that, again, efficiently delivering information that helps the decisions. But right up front, in the identify stage, that's where we engage the teams to support the CI, the competitive intelligence process.
Mm-hmm. So when you get a request from a client, once you've marketed your operation to the right people, your stakeholders, how often have you gotten requests from clients where you say, you know, this isn't really a project yet. We need to sit down and more carefully define those kits, or more carefully scope out the geographies of interest, et cetera. And that all lends itself to the marketing and the operational issues, executional issues that go into having your program build and sustain over a longer period of time, right? Can you guys talk a little bit about how setting those expectations, face-to-face meetings, all the other facets of meeting with your stakeholders intersects with the ongoing marketing plan for your function? Michael, you have any thoughts?
I think this goes back to educating your customers about what your intelligence function is all about. What is the identity of your function? And it then becomes much easier on a project-by-project basis to be able to have these conversations with the individual team members to say, yes, this is something we can do. This is something that, you know, is too early on in the project. We feel that the local market team might be better at doing.
Mm-hmm. It ties in with Terry's comment about the stages by which you want to do those things internally versus bringing in some external parties. And to Arik's point about being able to internalize the value and externalize some of the more pure play cost drivers of the function, understanding those as has been done at Dunkin Brands and 3M, I think the viewers at home will learn from what you guys have talked about here in a way that helps them elevate their own marketing strategy for their operation, their CI function, in a way that will ultimately help them connect more succinctly and repeatedly with their own internal customers. Arik, back in 1995 when you set up Aurora, what did you think about as far as the key success factors of marketing this intelligence operation as it relates to what Terry and Michael have talked about?
Well, I think you gentlemen have explained how simplicity is really the rule of the day, particularly in terms of how Terry described the whole identify, understand, mitigate. That's really a marketing tagline as well as a mission statement that you've established really as part of the identity of the apparatus, of the function. That's a big part of what Aurora tries to do as well. We think in terms of helping our clients see clearly about the changes and the signals of change in the marketplace around them, to think ahead about what possibilities may exist for them and understand the sort of abductive scenarios that might emerge, and then to break through the barriers, organizational, market-driven, environmental, and ultimately produce value and to continually redesign their organization so that their organization is optimally suited for the conditions that they're going to meet in the marketplace. That's our tagline. Just like Terry's tagline has to do with identify and understand and mitigate, we help see clearly, think ahead, and break through. I think Aurora and our function in the world is to enable organizations like Terry's and Michael's to really optimize their cost structure and to not internalize functions that are more exception handling driven. Those types of exception handling actions are better done by a third party. They're better done by a third party out in the marketplace, and things that I think require specialized skills, just as we very often require specialized skills on occasion to help clients to do the things they need to do, are things that we don't want to internalize either. We're very much, I think, about break-even point. I mean, what time during the day do we start to turn a profit, ultimately? That's what any professional services organization needs to think about. We specialize around those areas of value that really allow us to differentiate and to be special to our clients, just as you gentlemen do in your organizations. And then we hire independent third parties for the specialized tasks that are more exception-driven. We don't need an ethnopharmacologist who speaks Flemish in Belgium to be on staff, in other words, because we don't encounter engagements that require that particular skill set very often. But being able to tap into the labor pool, the workforce on a global basis, has been a big part of Aurora's apparatus and our success factor, and ultimately in supporting the types of issues that our clients encounter.
Jerry, you said something very interesting to me when you commented that 3M is such a big company that if you have outright CI people, instead of your strategy, I believe I understood this, is to have it be a part of multiple people's jobs within these dozens of business units, right?
Correct. That's correct.
And so you avoid the tendency, if CI isn't the flavor of the month, there's a big cost-cutting operation that goes on and you lose the function. Can you talk a little bit further about that?
it would be, I believe, very difficult for us to assemble a group of individuals who could, in a very competent manner, analyze competition. And of course, you only analyze competition based on the market and understanding the market for 200 countries, 200 businesses. I mean, it would be an incredible task. So that's why we opt, and we opt in this manner on many of our functions to lead from the center of the company, essentially teach people how to fish, how to get out and do this work and make it part of how the various operations operate. But I think, though, one other aspect that I should have outlined a little more, and I think you touched on it, is that this role, this function, is also the function that has the responsibility to never let rest the way we do CI, to always make it better. And we have to have the capacity to do that, to continuously search, to improve the way we do business, and to make sure the quality of competitive intelligence in the company is always at the highest. So for instance, if a senior member of staff comes to me and says, we really want to get wargaming going within our organization, I only have one question for them. What question do you want to answer? And invariably, I don't get an answer to that.
What you've described, Terry, is what consultants do. Consultants enable their clients to ask the right questions. And your compulsion that they ask the question before they engage in a wargaming exercise helps to ensure that you're creating value for them by teaching them how to do these more sophisticated analytical ideas like wargaming.
Exactly. And then connect them. If you believe that you can do this internally, then you get it done. If not, you connect them with the external resources that are expert in that field. So I see that as a very strong component of the responsibility that I have for 3M.
And to contrast that of a smaller size company versus 3M, which provides you the global capability to have countries do their own competitive intelligence, we don't have that luxury, so we have to be globally capable and capable to tackle a lot of that work ourselves. But at the same time, having an external network, after tapping into internal networks to get some base level intelligence and information, then tap the global capabilities of our partners.
So with Dunkin Brands, you see a very fast-growing, aggressive, smaller-sized organization that is globally capable. You see with 3M, a multinational organization with likewise fast growth goals, and to outpace your competitors by 2x in any market in which you compete. You know, both of these companies, Arik, that we've talked about today, Dunkin and 3M, I think our viewers at home are really going to learn a lot from the perspectives that Terry and Michael have shared today. And I want to thank all of you for being here with me on this topic of marketing your CI operation. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.